What you guys are about to watch is a short clip from a masterclass series we have with Storie inside of Chase's Guitar Academy. Now, John has developed a whole program for mastering blues chord melody. This is so that you can play unaccompanied solo guitar, and we'll do it starting over a blues form. Now, if you're a beginner to intermediate, this is perfect for you. If you're more advanced and you feel like your solo guitar is not quite what you want it to be, you will also find a lot of value out of this. If you guys want to check out the full masterclass series and also the future ones we have with John every single month, just join Chase Guitar Academy using the 7-day free trial link below, and you will get access. Without further ado, here's John's story.
So for context today, we will start by just using the blues, the 12-bar blues, which utilizes the 1, the 4, and the 5. So it's really the most, I call it the simple form of the blues. And, you know, when we listen back to like Robert Johnson and we listen to actual blues guitarists, that's the harmonic structure that is really coming through in the beginning, right? And so if we're just in the middle of the fretboard or in the key of B flat, so we're talking the first chord, of course, is our B flat 7, right? I like this shape a ton for kind of a standard chord shape. Followed by our 4 chord, the E flat for a bar, back to B flat for 2 bars. So if I were to just play that at a medium tempo with like a little simple pattern riff, be a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's our first 4-bar phrase. The second 4-bar phrase, I stay on that 4 chord, I switch to the 4 chord for 2 bars, back to the 1 chord for 2 bars. Now here's where things could go in a number of different directions. These last 4 bars, in the most simplest form, I like us playing the 5 chord for 1 bar. I like this, again, the dominant ninth is a nice shape. To the 4 chord for 1 bar. Back to our 1 chord for a bar, and then just the 5 chord. So I'll play the whole thing, okay? Back to the 1, 5, 4, 1, and the 5. So we got 1, we got 4, we got 5, simple form of the blues. And if you guys all have things like iReal Pro and you look up and you type in blues and you look up simple blues, that will be the chord shapes that you'll see there. Okay. So when we play that, we are actually playing a melody on top. And this is where our subject today is, where we're going to really kind of focus in on it first, because I think as guitar players, sometimes we really take it, we kind of take for granted the fact that the instrument naturally speaks a certain way. The register of the guitar, being that it's mostly mid-rangey, but we have a nice bass range, you know, especially when we use our right hand with the thumb, it really fills out. And then the top with a pick or some good fingernail, we have nice, clear, high-end articulation. And we all grew up playing chords, bar chords like this, you know, and all the chord shapes we just played. And we oftentimes just hear those as standalone shapes. But in jazz, what we want to start hearing is how there's a bass part to that voicing, there's a middle comping chordal part, and then there's a melody part on top. Here's what I'd like you guys to do. Okay, we went through these voicings. Okay, now let's do this. B flat again. We're going to play the note B flat, and we're going to play the note D flat. Now, instead of playing this B flat chord, I'm going to keep this chunk, but now I'm going to play it like this. I'm going to bring the B flat to the top string. So it's like this little baby chord on top. Okay. Now I'm going to practice with pinky finger adding the D flat. So I get these 2 sounds with this. I'm looking on the screen and I see everybody getting that. Yep. Now when I go to E flat, here's the James Brown chord, as I call it. Right? So we get the E9, Pinky finger stretches up there into the 9th fret. So going between those two. Now that, to make it simpler. You can practice that. Then you can practice with this finger and this finger getting more rhythmically diverse with the top string. Something like, again, ba boo dee be da da. And the goal in our practicing with that, once you can accomplish that, is make sure that the note is at the forefront and that that little bitty chord is just behind it. Okay, we want to get that sound. We don't want it to all sound like which with the pick, right? We want it to sound small difference, big difference, right? Now when we get to the F chord, what do? We have to change our fingering a little bit because we want to keep those notes on top as an exercise. Like I said here in the practice, you can like establish kind of a repetitive pattern to play over it. So that can be a repetitive rhythmic pattern or a repetitive melodic pattern. So with the F chord, if I finger it like this, with 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger on the 4th string, 3rd and 2nd, now my 1st finger can get to that B flat. It's kind of a cool sound. It's like an F9 sus, right? Pinky finger can cheat and go up here. So here's the whole thing now. I'm gonna do ba be dee ba. That'll be my rhythm with those top notes. And I'm going to go through the whole 12-bar blues, following the form in a clear key. This is my defined clear melody. Yes, there's some bass motion going on here too, and I want to make sure my time feels really good. So I'm going to make sure I count myself off. 2, 2, 3, Okay, so now here's what's fun also, and I talk about this a little bit on my course that I did with Chase a while ago, my solo guitar mastery course. Now is where we can have a little bit of fun opening this up, especially if we're advanced, and we can start using some sidestepping with these chords. So now I can take that. Now I'm getting outside harmonically. I'm adding the 2-5-1. I'm adding other stuff. But the goal should be, and I don't know, it's hard for me to know how well that sound comes across on Zoom.
It's coming through pretty good.
If we were like in a room and I had my amp, I could really tell if I'm getting this. So I hope it's okay. But you really want to have that melody come out.
One more quick question that might help.
Yeah, Chase.
Because you were giving us a good melody with the B flat to the D flat. Mm-hmm. If some of these guys wanted to explore some other melodic options beyond that, what would you recommend as far as figuring that out?
Good question. I think it's good to actually think about the guitar and think about, I'm going to play a melody on 2 strings. So I'm going to play a melody that goes between my high E and my B string. So that one was on 1 string. Now I'm going to add... I think one of the hardest things to do, Chase, is chromaticism. Like going... feel like your fingers are playing Twister the whole time, you know. I mean, I'm getting silly, but and then I also recommend you guys, so go first of all, be like, okay, now I'm going to play a melody on 2 strings, and the blues scale is a great place to start. And of course, you can also try putting the melody in the bass too, right? You can go like this. Sometimes that turns into more call and response because I'm not sustaining the chord on top over that. Or you can't. And then it turns into like a bass line. And then the last thing I would say, Chase, too, is naturally you guys can see I'm going into several positions now. So you can set a goal that you're going to play the melody and stay in one position. Be like, okay, I'm going to work on playing the melody between the 5th fret and the 11th fret only. Okay, now every other phrase, I'm going to go down to the lower position. So like this. Then you go into your lines. So for me, it's strings first, then the position.
Cool. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys?
I was going to say real quick, that definitely is when I do private lessons with this stuff, that's something I go into. And I thought about adding that to this worksheet. So I'm glad you brought that up because maybe I'll add that as like level 2. Okay, now that you can do that, change strings with the melody, change positions with the melody. Change register with the melody. The hardest is the middle. Go listen to some Lenny Bro and you guys can hear what you can do with the middle melodies of chords. It just, that guy was ridiculous. Anyway, I'll do a different melody, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And also right there, I kind of took the element out of making the time feel a little bouncy and just making it very plain. I feel so strongly about how time's got to be in everything. We've got to have everything's got to be a good time. But it's also when we're practicing, it is really good to break that element away and just really make sure we've got the right motion going and the right sound, that we're pulling the right sound out. Yeah. I also will say too, like, when we really listen to the great solo guitarists, there is an element of simplicity too that those guys are doing. And there's an element that, again, the melody is the most important thing. The time feel is really important. And they won't sacrifice either one of those things to add more to their arrangement, And that's kind of an old school mentality too. In this Instagram world where everything we play has to be super flashy. And man, if you just let the music speak properly and have the time feel right, that is music at a very high level, in my opinion, for sure. Yeah, and Robert, sure.
Once again, guys, if you want to access this masterclass instantly, as well as the other masterclasses in this series that we have with John Storie, all you have to do is just sign up for a 7-day free trial at Chase's Guitar Academy using the link below.